Factoring trinomials using rainbow method, example 2. First, we're going to write our expression in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. So here's our expression, 10x squared minus 49x minus 5. Next, we need to find a, b, and c, the numbers that are multiplied by each of the terms. So a is going to be 10, b is going to be 49, and c equals 5. We don't need to worry about the signs at this time. Our next step, we're going to multiply a times c. So a times c is 10 times 5, which gives us 50. Now we need to find all the factor pairs of 50. We always start with 1. So 1 times 50 would be 50. And we write the 50 down here, leaving the space in between for the other factor pairs. We next increase the 1 to a 2. Yes, we can factor that. 2 times 25. The next factor that'll work would be 5, and 5 times 10 gives us 50. And none of the numbers in between 5 and 10 will factor into 50. So we have found all the factor pairs. Now we need to link our factor pairs. Starting with the center, we have 5 and 10 for 50. The next pair is 2 and 25. And our last pair is 1 and 50. Now let's find the sum and the difference for each factor pair. So we'll put our sums on the top corners and the differences on the bottom corners. So now 1 and 50 summed is 51, that's the top, and the difference between 1 and 50 is 49. For the next pair, 2 and 25 summed to 27, and the difference between 25 and 2 is 23. For our next pair, 5 and 10, the sum is going to be 15, and the difference will be 5. So let's locate B and mark the pair used. So we see here in our list of A, B, and C that B is a 49. So we look along the corners and we find the 49 here at the bottom where we used 50 and 1. So let's rewrite the expression with this pair. We'll write the first term, leave some space, and then write the last term. And that's where we're going to fill in our pair. So we're trying to express a minus 49x with the 1 and the 50. So for like terms, we would have a 50x minus 1x, but that would give us a positive 49x. That's not what we need. We need a negative 49x. So we have a minus 50x plus a 1x. That sum will give us a minus 49x, so that's the pair that we need to use. So minus 49x is what we're trying to express. We're going to express that with the minus 50x plus 1x. When they combine together, that gives us the 49. Now let's factor by grouping. Our first group, 10x squared minus 50x. The second group will be 1x minus 5. From the first group, we could factor out a 10x, and that would leave an x minus 5. From the second group, we'll just factor a 1 out, and that'll leave us also with x minus 5. So let's check inside the parentheses to make sure both expressions are identical, and they are. So we can continue now and factor out this expression, which will give us x minus 5 for the first factor and 10x plus 1 for the second. So let's multiply our factors to check. Using FOIL, the first ones would be x times 10x, which give us 10x squared. The outer would be x times a plus 1, which would be 1x. The inner would be a minus 5 times 10x, which is minus 50x. And the last would be a minus 5 times a plus 1, and we have a minus 5. Combining our like terms, we get 10x squared minus 49x minus 5, which is the expression we started with. So we see that we do have correct factors for that expression. And that concludes factoring trinomials using the rainbow method, example 2.